Okay, so we're gonna talk about. Hold on. Is the qual? Okay, the quality's good. I don't care. Look, we're gonna talk about this Mr. Beast response and why this was absolutely terrible. This was horrible. Whatever. I don't care. This adds to the style of the channel. Look, horrible response. Okay, I'm just gonna get that out of the way. This was absolutely terrible. By the way, you like the different angle I'm trying out this video with? It's typically from the other side of the room, but we're gonna do it from this angle. Point is, this was a terrible review. A terrible response. Nothing was said. It was softball, which I'll be real here. I'm not shocked at all that this was as soft as it was, simply because this is Oompaville we're talking about. I was about to say Ludwig, but no. In the case of Oompaville, this is another person to me, and I've gotten it mixed up with Ludwig, actually, come to think of it. This is another person who is very, very soft and refuses to be very negative about things. Always tries to be a certain way to avoid offending people for one reason or another. I'm sure that there's financial reasoning for that. I'm sure that there's self-conscious reasoning for that. Do I know that for certain? No, but that's just a feeling I get. Hence the reason why I'm saying it. But I've already taken the time to watch some of this response, which I couldn't get through any more than a half an hour aside from some skipping through it as I look at it here on my screen. In fact, I'm going to run through some of this interview again. Response, whatever. We're going to run through it while I'm here talking about it. We're going to go through it a second time. I'm going to give an example of what I'm talking about, okay? Very soft. Nothing was actually answered here with this response. Very much making excuses, refusing to take accountability, which mistakes happen, but it's a matter of dealing with those mistakes. You know, it's about the intent of mistakes. And it seems to me that Jimmy here is quite negligent when it comes to a responsibility because, well, I paid this lawyer this much, or this was somebody else's job, so how am I supposed to take blame for something which you have your name on and you are the face of, right? Let's just do this real quick, okay? We're going to open this up all the way. Okay. Oh, let me lower this. I don't want to blow anyone's eardrums out.
Are you going to sue Dogpack?
I mean, he should. If it's all defamation, which I'm just gonna say the whole dogback thing, so much of this shit is just it's all stupid. It's all so trash, you know? In fact, we're gonna go full screen. So much of it is so trash when it comes to this. And what's her name? That bitch's name, Rosianna, who's been up to the up to getting revenge after going into a show that you already knew what to expect anyhow. I'm not excusing anything about how things were ran or have been ran with MrBeast, at least up to this point. I'm just saying. It's very much from a personal perspective of entitlement. I saw one Reddit comment actually sum it up saying, which it's pretty hilarious that somebody could sum it up this way, that hell hath no fury like a scorned woman. Which I know that's an already existing saying, but seeing that applied to in a comment just comes off as so disingenuous. Like this is someone who was burnt for such a horrible atrocity committed against her. Nah. It was a mix of you didn't win shit, probably with some editing mixed in for the sake of things being plotted out a certain way. I mean, it ain't that deep, I assure you. And what's his name? Dogpack? Like, he's an asshole as well. Like, whatever. Like, fuck all these people. Like, fuck all of them. From what I've seen of this, I don't give enough of a shit to really look into this whole situation 100%. All I can say is it's intriguing enough for me to where I've looked into it enough to where I see what I see and I think this is just a load of shit. And nobody in this situation, whether it's this video, whether it's anything to do with this entire controversy, all of these controversies the last few months, no one's been a good person in any of it. I don't like any of these people. None of them come off as genuine. They're all fucking fake as hell. It's so funny. Let's keep watching.
Well, MrBeast is currently on a private jet on his way to where I live in Central.
That's just the thing. To start this off, he's on a private jet to come to a circle jerk response sanctuary where everyone is friends and kumbaya. You know, look, he's a person like anyone. Mr. Breast, as Pyrocynical puts it, is a person like anyone. We need to be nice. Okay, we need to treat him with respect. Did he treat those employees with respect? Oh, wait, it was someone else's problem. Right. See, that's how it always goes with these fucking companies, you know? He's just another organization. That's all that MrBeast is. It's just an organization at the end of the day.
Central Texas to have a conversation with me with the intention of addressing the controversy that he...
That's just so funny to me. We're using jets to get from one place to another for the sake of this response, interview, whatever. The term doesn't matter at this point. It really doesn't. That's just so funny to me. Like, are you kidding me? Here, let me reply to all these accusations by flying over with a private jet. That's great. Good job, Taylor Swift.
He's been involved in over the last few months. And I think that it is important for me to document my intentions before embarking on this risky and difficult task. I am not Scott Pelley. I am not a hard-hitting genius investigative journalist.
Then why are you doing this? Oh, wait, we know why. It's because he's one of those types of YouTubers that, because he's very safe in softball about shit, from what I've seen, he's quite safe, that MrBeast feels no pressure with him. With someone like, what's his name? CoffeeZilla, there would be some actual pressure. I don't care that he's the crypto guy. There'd be some pressure there because of the honesty that he would be putting on Jimmy. Just saying.
I'm a YouTuber with a medium-sized platform. I am currently doing journalism, to be fair, but I am goofy, all right? Also, back in August, clearly, I platformed Dogpack, and out of fairness, I feel that it is important to do the same for MrBeast.
We're going to
has agreed to keep an open line of communication. He'll only be here for a little bit, which is crazy, because he's flying halfway across the country, and he and his team have a stand behind the result, maybe. And I look forward to seeing the comments and criticism. Firstly, would you be willing to...
You look forward to the comment and criticism. I don't think it's for the reasons you think, my boy.
Put your hand on this Bible and swear.
Oh my gosh, you actually have a Bible?
I have 2 Bibles.
Are you being serious?
I am being serious.
Okay.
I'm swearing.
Look, you can have the beliefs you want when it comes to religion, but it's like, we really got to start this shit off this way? What feels like a halfway joke about, what, purity with something like this, the situation? Dog, with the type of thing we're talking about, this is not necessary. This is not necessary.
We're both from the South. This will be an honest video.
Oh, your laptop's blocking it.
Oh, whoops. This will be an honest video. You're a man from North Carolina.
It's a MacBook.
I'm from Virginia.
The Bible Belt.
The Bible Belt,
Yep.
exactly.
I know
And this means it's legit.
Okay.
There we go.
I was not expecting that. Okay.
It's just like legal now.
It is. I can go to jail.
Look, you guys know about how I am with humor myself, but it's like, the whole setup of this, just the way they're joking about this is not meant to be a friendly conversation. This is a very serious situation that involves very slanderous claims and very, very important fucking things and happenings. Oh my god, this interview is pissing me off. Response, whatever.
Especially off the bat, like you did respond to the Ava Tyson stuff immediately, but like, you know.
Yeah, with a tweet. And that's something else I'm going to say about this. Regardless of how this response could have went, it doesn't change the... You know, we're going to go full screen for this. Regardless of how it could have went, there's no need for it to happen anyway, simply because it doesn't matter. I'm going to show you why. Look at this. 1.6... Oh, wait. 1.6 million views. How many subscribers does MrBeast have? Let's see. Let's just check. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Look. 332 million. That's barely a percent compared to 1.6. Do people really think that outside of the few, realistically, who care about this, most people even know about this response? No, of course they don't, because the majority of MrBeast's viewership is not those who care about this. It's the casual person who just happens to watch YouTube content. Maybe when they're on break at work, or in the case of many children, many kids watch MrBeast. It's really not that deep. If I was MrBeast, if I was in his shoes, I wouldn't have even bothered doing this, because there'd be no point. There'd be absolutely no point to it. This was a waste of time for everyone involved.
Right after that.
For Oomphaville, this was just for the clout. Let's just be real. Or more so, that's what he's most benefiting from.
Go silent immediately.
That's a great question to kick it off on. You actually kind of laid out the timeline there. The Ava stuff came out, and I put out that tweet. We hired the investigators to go look into it, and part of that investigation is they recommended that I not talk about drama or really do anything online because it might influence, witnesses or any people they might interview or ex-employees. So it's a little unfortunate because I told them, okay, I'll wait till the investigation is over. I believe that was literally like a week before the Dogpack video came out, and then address drama and things. And I mean, there's obviously, should have done this sooner. Whoops, but better late than never.
Yeah. Did you think it would get this big?
No.
It shouldn't even happened. This should have not even happened.
If I just never did anything, but I'm here, so.
In the lion's den.
Yes. Controlled opposition.
The lion's den.
towards me. Hey, also, I'd love to say, I don't know if he's posting this chronologically or not, but I mean, he also did interview Dog Track multiple times. So it's because I could have done this with anyone, but I think this one makes sense because you've literally had the other side on here. So
yeah, and also to be clear as well, I have
Man, my point still stands.
not signed like an NDA or
fuck.
I mean, there's genuinely nothing that's been signed. You haven't given me $1 million.
No. Hey, you should
Yeah.
say every day. I'm learning more on like how to properly run a company with hundreds of people and better do it. But I'm still very ignorant. Like what like.
I mean, yeah, clearly, but that's not an excuse.
Probably
things happen, but a lot of things just seemed like they were perpetuated for a while.
Lost 100 employees like 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago, but it's still just growing. So like across everything, you know, if you include festivals and view stats, we have over 400 employees. So it's a learning thing. But that's the thing. While I'm
okay, and that's just a flex.
learning, I need to bring in people who have been there and learn from them.
Yeah, because there's no replacement for this experience, right?
Exactly.
Like, you can be as smart as anybody, but if you haven't been able to go through the things you've gone through and like things just personally that I know that I've gone through and learned from business, it's not possible to know. It's not possible to know how to react to those things, or that's why I sort of try to do my best to compartmentalize my business. Obviously, different beast than what you're operating, but it just it's just it's difficult and it does make sense. And you've used the word ignorant a couple times. I'd be interested to see how changes are made after this, which you've already made a lot of changes. Obviously, the anonymous reporting is the biggest one for HR.
Yeah,
that's like been
and it's like that's one of those things where it's
that's the thing about HR. HR is made to protect the company. It's not to help the employees. That's something that's very much the case with many companies, and that just feels like it was the case when it came to MrBeast.
I was like, oh, we don't need. I just didn't know. Like, I never seen the data they showed me, and like, if any other people have this kind of stuff, like, I'm always open to learning.
Of course, yeah. And I think the most important thing too is like at the end of the day, you've got the most to gain from all this.
Exactly. I want my employees happy. I gain nothing out of them not being happy. Like, it hurts me. It's like I have a.
That's not the point though. Again, it's just the point purposely what it feels like, purposely being missed constantly.
Monetarily incentivization to do this.
And I feel like he's aware of that too.
Right. Yeah, and that's why
he's just going off of lawyer speak at this point. Playing it safe because it would hurt. It would be in his best interest to. Which, if it really was about that, he wouldn't even be here in the first place.
I feel like the criticism of entities like yours and even mine, with truth.
What would have shocked me at all was him doing a response on his own main channel. That's what would have shocked me. I'm not really shocked by this, but I still don't think it should have happened.
Obviously, and like logic, and there's a real basis, a rationale that makes sense, that's centered in reality.
Yeah.
I feel like that's super important because once again, you have so much to gain, and like you spend less, you make a little bit less money, but your employees are substantially happier and they feel safer or just more confident in you as their leader or their boss.
Well, that clearly isn't the case.
So it's like, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how
Which, look, bad things were bound to happen eventually. Something was bound to give eventually. A very innocent look for a company, one that's very family friendly and all that. Of course, there's bound to be some dark secrets spoiled eventually. But even that's still not the point.
How all this kind of goes from here, at this point especially.
Yeah.
This is a big moment.
I know. The interview, the day of the interview.
But that makes sense though. I mean, and like I don't want to continuously interject my own business experience, but I think it does set me apart from other YouTubers who are involved in this, in that I do have business experience. From it's sort of the same thing. I just fell into running actual businesses and having to do payroll and HR, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
I had no idea any of this stuff existed, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get.
Well, maybe it's your due diligence to look into these things as you're working on them. Or maybe look into it before you decide to start a business. Yeah, you're only going to be prepared for so much, and mistakes are bound to happen. But it's also about the intent and the effort you're actually putting in. And even then, with a company as big as MrBeast, clearly there was just so much oversight. I'm just.
But your mom was previously head of your HR department, and some people have criticized that as a.
Your mom. How business. This. I must have missed this when I first watched this shit. Maybe I was just that checked out, but. Oh my god. Ain't no way he just said that. No way I just heard that. Ain't no way I just heard that. Look, family businesses can work. But with a company like this, that's your first thought? Wow. Wow.
Conflict of interest. Did you personally, at the time, even consider that? Mm-hmm. And do you now also acknowledge that is a conflict of interest?
Oh, I agree. That's a dumb thing to do.
Yeah.
I do think context matters, though, because like this is where a lot of these things that I assume we're going to talk about is like people conflate current MrBeast with 400 employees and spending hundreds of millions of dollars a year with MrBeast when he's a teenager and starting. I mean, when I first started hiring people, it was like.
But these are accusations that just started coming out recently, out of the woodwork. At what point is there a difference between adult and teenage MrBeast if those same mistakes are happening constantly, and only now changing because of everything?
Oh,
these are just
we
excuses.
went to high school together. You want to help me make videos? And I hired a couple of my friends for high school. So, and then I was like, how do I?
It's like he was so fixated. MrBeast was so fixated. Or maybe it's just Jimmy at this point. It's all a face. So fixated on the numbers that he just looked past everything else. That's just how it sounds. Things just happen to really work out in his favor, and he forgot that when you start a company, there's more to it than just oh shit, numbers.
How do I do taxes and this kind of stuff? And I was like, Mom, help. And so, I mean, I wouldn't say she was head of HR. I mean, she was, I guess, but she's also.
You put your mother as head of HR, bro? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Running finance, and it's not like a real company. We just get in this like little 700 or no, actually that one was $1,080 a month office I was renting, and I'd just be like to this one guy.
Not a real bro. If you have financial gain or loss, and you're investing money into real or it's a business regardless if it's a legal form of income. Like.
That I knew from high school. All right, today you're gonna go paint this thing. Today, you, friend number 2, you're gonna like help me edit this, and you, friend number 3, you're gonna go to the store and buy 1,000 chickens that like scream when you press down on them. And Mom, I don't know, just make sure the IRS doesn't sue me. Like that's the time frame we're talking about here. But yes,
He treats it like it's just not that serious. Look, there's plenty of things that are small in the grand scheme of things. Payments for something can be small fry in the grand scheme of everything. If you're making payments for something. That can seem like that. It can very much be that, even if it doesn't feel like that. But dude, you're casually joking in that way about the IRS? Look, again, I got the sense of humor I do, but the way they're just treating this is so nonchalantly, I
agree. Like it's stupid. Like you definitely shouldn't have your mom as an HR person. You should hire someone who was educated in HR, which is obviously what we have. We have an HR team now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think, and that's sort of like
good. You learned, but
one of the weird things from just a business perspective, once again, it's like someone becomes HR by default, even if you don't say, well, this is the HR person, this is our contact.
I mean, because like back then, it's like, you got a problem, just tell me. There's like 5 of us.
That's great.
But yes, but still, I'm like.
We're gonna skip ahead.
That does seem weird, right? Like it just seems like once again a conflict of interest. But at the same time, you're making YouTube videos. You're not making.
That's the thing, MrBeast, Jimmy, whatever. He doesn't seem like a bad person to me. He just seems like a very ignorant one. He seemed like he was very ignorant going into this, and now he's making excuses for that.
Like, I don't know. You can endlessly make excuses for it and against it. It seems like that's why I'm saying it's kind of.
I mean, I think between like the contestants,
you can, but that doesn't mean you should.
And people giving stuff to in videos, like pretty confidently say like less than 1% of it's employees. So if you were to take everyone who's ever been in the video, so like we're like, and a lot of it was like I said during the COVID time, where it's just like, well, I'm trying to be responsible anyway. So it's like, I mean, yeah. I think when you look at it through those lenses, I feel like any rational person would say, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah.
It making sense doesn't mean that it's not an excuse.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
So now on to the response to critics. So the first person really to respond to critics was Chucky. But the second person, it seemed like, was...
And that's the thing. I also saw down here, there's this doc. Okay. That's great, but that's not the video itself. And so much of it is just things having to do with Reddit, which were mentioned in the video anyways. Let's even look at some of the comments here while we're at it. In front of... You were the person MrBeast chose to finally do an interview in the least offensive way. See, even this person is just like, but they shouldn't be. Like, look, this whole comment section says everything. A huge moment for the chronically online. See? That's what this is geared towards, the few that actually give a shit about this.
Soggy Cereal, YouTuber, commentary YouTuber. He made a video, and he's been, that video is sort of blowing up a little bit. It's not quite to the level of Dogpack's video when it first came out, but it's coming up. All this crazy stuff, and freedom of speech is so important, but obviously lies and slander are not protected by the freedom of speech. So it's just a big, giant optical pill to swallow and consider, I feel like.
Agreed.
And I would be really interested to see your thoughts going forward, in your decisions that you decide to make. I would love to stay in the loop on that, because, in the very beginning, I thought Soggy had good intentions. Dogpack,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. Soggy does have good intentions, in my opinion. In the very beginning, and now things obviously are... he's turned this into sort of his thing.
Good intentions, even though even the very first video literally was, what, 90% lies?
It seemed.
Oh, you got manipulated,
Yeah,
but
of course, yeah.
that doesn't make it good intentions.
Yeah, I'm just saying it seemed that a lot of people...
That I
It
can
was
agree
good
with.
intentions when he photoshopped a fake live stream and
No,
falsely
no.
accused me of not saying something I did say, and falsely accused something. It was a good intentions when he put a king-size Feastables bar beside a regular-size Hershey's bar and didn't disclose that, and then lied about us having...
See, why is Jimmy being more transparent and real here compared to the fucking host?
more sugar than them. Like a demo site they're about to go live or whatever, but I wanted to, like, everything I'm telling you here, I want all that up there. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah, we're not going to keep going through this. I'm just going through multiple different examples here of things that I'm talking about. Dude, look, the point is, this whole thing was just a waste of time. That's all there is to say about it. There's no point to this response happening. So, that's all I can really say. I don't have anything else to add. I just wanted to go through parts of the interview. Whatever. I just wanted to go through parts of it, and that's it. So, that's just the point I wanted to make. I felt I actually had something to say with this, so that's why I covered this controversy. This response. And that's going to be it. So, make sure to subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all for the next video. Until then, I'm out. Later.